I live in the southern part of the United States. Not inside the city, but a little farther out where the roads get quieter and the evenings slow down. I work in Chicago in the information technology field. Long hours in glass buildings, endless meetings, screens that never sleep. Whenever I get annual leave, I go back home for a week or two, just to breathe again, to sit on the porch, to remember who I was before deadlines and notifications started controlling my life. It was during one of those breaks that everything changed in a way I never expected. The house across from ours had been empty for a while, but that summer a woman moved in with her aunt. My mother mentioned casually that she worked at a bank downtown, and that she was married but had been transferred temporarily to our area. I did not think much of it at first. Married, older than me, just another person passing through. I was 26 at the time, still telling myself I had plenty of time for love and life. The first time I actually saw her was on a Tuesday evening around 5:30. She walked through the front gate wearing a soft blue dress, her hair tied neatly back, her posture calm and self-contained. There was nothing loud or attention-seeking about her beauty. It was the quiet kind, the kind that does not ask to be noticed but stays with you once it is. I remember lowering the newspaper in my hands, and realizing that my thoughts had suddenly stopped moving. She asked about the spare key her aunt had left with us. I stood up, nodded, handed it to her, and said very little. She smiled politely, thanked me, and walked back across the road. That was it. A few seconds. Nothing dramatic. But that night, lying in my old bedroom, I realized she had not left my mind even once. Over the next few days, I noticed her routine. Early mornings, professional clothes, a calm seriousness in her walk. Evenings were quieter. Sometimes she sat on the porch reading. Sometimes she came home late, tired but composed. I told myself repeatedly that this was nothing, that curiosity fades, that attraction passes. But it did not. One afternoon, a sudden summer rainstorm rolled in while she was leaving work. I happened to be nearby on my motorcycle, waiting out the rain under an awning near the bank. When I saw her walking quickly toward the bus stop, clearly trying to avoid getting soaked, I made a decision before my cautious side could stop me. I offered her a ride home. She hesitated for a moment, then agreed. She held on to the side of the seat, careful, distant, respectful. We spoke about work, about how different city life felt compared to quieter towns. Nothing personal, yet the air between us felt heavier than the words we were using. When I dropped her off, she thanked me and said it was kind of me to help. That word kind stayed with me longer than it should have. After that, we spoke occasionally. Short conversations, friendly exchanges. I was always careful not to cross any line. She was married. I knew that. I respected it, even if my heart was slowly ignoring logic. There is a difference between what we know is right and what we feel. I was learning that difference the hard way. 2 months passed like this. Then I returned to Chicago. Life resumed its speed, projects, late nights, coffee replacing sleep. Yet every time it rained, every time I saw a blue dress in a window reflection, I thought of her. One Thursday night, months later, I came home unexpectedly. My family had gone out for a religious gathering. Her aunt was away at a wedding. The house across the road was dark. The sky opened suddenly with heavy rain and thunder. I was sitting on the porch when she appeared at the gate, soaked, holding her bag tightly against herself. She needed the spare key again. I let her inside to wait out the storm. We sat in the living room, a safe distance apart, rain pounding against the windows. That night we talked more honestly than we ever had before, about loneliness, about feeling invisible even when surrounded by people, about the quiet disappointments that no one prepares you for when you grow up. I told her the truth, that I had feelings I never planned on having, that I understood they could not go anywhere, that I respected her life and her choices. She listened silently, then said something that changed everything. She said she had felt the same confusion, the same pull, not because of me, but because it reminded her of the parts of herself she had stopped listening to. We did nothing wrong that night. We did not cross boundaries. We did not pretend reality did not exist. When the rain slowed, I walked her back to her house. At the gate, she looked at me for a long time, then said that some feelings are not meant to be acted on, only understood. The next morning, she left for the city. Shortly after, her transfer ended. She moved away. Life closed that chapter without asking if I was ready. Years passed. I was promoted. I moved apartments. I dated, but nothing lasted. Not because I was comparing everyone to her, but because I had learned that real connection does not happen often. It cannot be forced. One winter, 7 years later, I returned home for the holidays. At a grocery store near the old neighborhood, I saw her again. She was standing near the produce section, with a young girl holding her hand. Time had softened her features, but not changed her presence. We recognized each other instantly. We talked briefly. She told me she was a single mother now. Her marriage had ended quietly years ago. There was no bitterness in her voice, only acceptance. I told her I was still working in tech, still trying to build something meaningful. That evening, she sent me a message asking if we could talk. We spoke for hours, not about what could have been, but about who we had become. The conversation felt different, lighter, more grounded. We met again a week later at a park near a small church. Her daughter was with her parents. We walked, talked, and laughed in a way that felt natural, not rushed. This time there was no guilt, no secrecy, no stolen moments, just two people meeting again at the right time instead of the wrong one. We did not rush into anything. We took months. Coffee dates, long walks, conversations about responsibility, about healing, about the kind of love that does not burn but stays warm. One day, she told me she trusted me, not with promises, but with her reality. Today we live together in a small house not far from where it all began. Her daughter calls me family. Sometimes when it rains, we sit quietly and listen. We do not talk about the past much. It served its purpose. It taught us patience. Some love stories are not meant to begin when you want them to. They begin when you are finally ready to carry them without breaking.